Now, my friends at the Ghana Bar Association, they have written. I called them out. I said we had not heard from them since this whole Chief Justice, Vicent, and all the mixed petitions came up. So the GBA has written. We will read the love letter together. So the Ghana Bar Association, it says, over the past 2 months, the General Counsel of the Ghana Bar Association has been closely monitoring developments on the process for the removal of the Chief Justice, which has culminated in a suspension by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana. Per the Constitution, Code of Ethics and Regulations of the GBA concerns itself with matters affecting the legal profession, which include but not limited to 1, defending and upholding freedom and justice in Ghana, and the maintenance of the independence of the judiciary. As at 27th of March 2025, when the General Council of the GBA met, 3 petitions had been submitted for the removal of the Chief Justice, and 2 cases have been instituted at the Supreme Court challenging the procedure that has been triggered for the removal of the Chief Justice, with subsequent applications for injunction of the said process. The GBA is mindful of the provisions of Article 1466 and 7 of the 1992 Constitution, which detail the process for the removal of the Chief Justice by providing as follows. Where the petition is for the removal of the Chief Justice, the President shall, acting in consultation with the Council of State, appoint a committee consisting of 2 judges of the Supreme Court and 1 whom shall be appointed chairman by the President, and 3 other persons who are not members of the Council of State, nor members of Parliament, nor lawyers. 7. The committee appointed under Clause 6 of the article shall inquire into the petition and recommend to the President whether the Chief Justice ought to be removed from office. The GBA also notes the provision of Article 1468 and 9 and 10, which indicate that the sittings of the committee shall be held in camera, and the President, acting in accordance with the advice of the Council of State, may suspend the Chief Justice. The GBA, while recognizes the constitutional prescriptions for the removal of the Chief Justice under Article 1466 and to 10 of the Constitution, and mindful of the fact that presently the entire matter is sub judice, it is the hope and belief of the GBA that the actors involved in the whole process would have the time-tested tenets of the rule of law as their guiding principles, and its application follow the spirit of the law. It is expected that persons who play even the minutest role in the process will bear in mind Article 296, that's the portion of the Constitution on discretionary powers of the 1992 Constitution, on the exercise of discretion, and will act in a manner that safeguards and enhances the independence and image of the judiciary. Justice emanates from the good people of Ghana and is administered by the judiciary headed by the Chief Justice. The GBA shall carry out its mandate to defend, strengthen, and enhance confidence in the justice delivery system in Ghana. The GBA shall remain the conscience of society, the voice of the voiceless, and act to safeguard the rule of law and uphold the Constitution of the Republic, which embodies the wishes and aspirations of the people of Ghana. Dated this in Accra, this 24th day of April 2025, Efuagati Mrs. is the national president of the GBA. Kweku Jew Bafor is the national secretary of the GBA. Let it be on the record that until we spoke, the GBA hadn't written. So the GBA has responded to our call to speak on the matter. Essentially, they are talking about constitution and law and following the process, and for everybody to play their part well so that the process is sacrosanct, right? That's what the GBA literally is asking for. But is that all the GBA can say? In the past, the GBA has had an opinion on very weighty matters. But is that all the GBA can say? Well, this is what they have said. There's also FIDA. Let's read from FIDA, please. Federation of International Lawyers, right? Let's read from them quickly. Put it up. Let's read the FIDA document quickly. This is also dated Thursday, the 24th of April, 2025. The International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA, Ghana expresses profound concern over the recent suspension of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. This action has far-reaching implications for the independence of the judiciary, the protection of constitutional governance, and the ongoing commitment for gender parity in national leadership. So they have introduced another subject, gender parity. A Chief Justice is not only the head of the judiciary, but also a symbol of integrity, impartiality, and independence that defines the rule of law in any democracy. The suspension of a sitting Chief Justice, Mrs. Gertrude Arabe Saba Sakitokonu, particularly one of the few women to have held this position in Ghana's history, raises serious constitutional, institutional, and social concerns. Such an act, if devoid of transparency, due process, and public accountability, undermines public trust in the very institutions meant to uphold justice. FIDA Ghana, as a staunch advocate for the rule of law and the protection of vulnerable people, especially women, advises that the right of the Chief Justice be respected and upheld at all times, and her office be treated with the dignity that it deserves. FIDA Ghana find disconcerting the increasing spate of removal of individuals from strategic, constitutional, and institutional leadership, especially when such persons are women, regrettable. These removals have become the norm whenever there is a change in government from the leadership of one party to the other. These actions serve only to weaken public and constitutional institutions and may potentially discourage competent and qualified individuals, particularly women, from accepting appointments to serve their nation in those institutions. Then they continue that this development may be viewed within the broader context of the constitutional and legal gaps that leave high-ranking positions vulnerable and potential interference. The current legal framework must have adequate safeguard to ensure the security of tenure and independence of the heads of institutions, such institutions including our judiciary. Governments have the right to remove individuals where the need arises. However, the need to do so must be dearly or clearly discernible and stated grounds in accordance with our constitution, and not for partisan considerations or expediency. Finally, the provisions of Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act 2024, Act 1121, to ensure minimum of 30% representation of women in decision-making spaces remain woefully unfulfilled and falls short of the stated goals of affirmative action law. This flies in the face of the promises in the NDC's Resetting Ghana manifesto. FIDA is therefore urging government to ensure that it keeps to its promise to the women of Ghana. FIDA therefore calls for the transparency regarding the process and urgent resolution of the matters before the committee to enable the Chief Justice to resume her constitutional duties to the judiciary in Ghana. So if she's found guilty or not, you are saying that she should be returned. Okay. Recommends that for urgent constitutional and legal reforms to provide stronger protection for office leaders, holders, especially heads of independent constitutional bodies, to prevent arbitrary dismissals. Reiterate the call for implementation of the provisions of the Affirmative Action and Gender Equity Act at 1121 to provide 30% of females in leadership positions as a matter of national priority and justice. Finally, FIDA Ghana urges government and all political, private, and social sectors to recommit to advancing women's leadership and strengthening the independence of institutions in Ghana. Signed by Susan Ayite, Acting Executive Director. FIDA, good morning to you. Were you in this country when Madam Charlotte Osei was literally kicked out of office? She's a woman, no? Were you in Ghana when Miss Lamte at Shraj was kicked out? You were in Ghana, no? She's a woman, no? Has any law been broken so far? You are talking law, constitution. Charlotte Osei herself is a lawyer. She's a woman, female lawyer. Charlotte Osei, she belongs to you. Were you in this country? Did you make such statements? No, I'm asking you. I'm not fighting. I'm just asking. Did you make similar statements when Charlotte Osei, a lawyer, a female lawyer, was hounded out of her office for less? Did you make any of these comments? No, the people are asking me to ask you. That's why I'm asking you. Did you make any of these comments? Did you at all make any of? Did you write such a missive for public concern? Did you try? Did you attempt? Find me the former Chief Justice, the Chief Justice on suspension's video. Not former Chief Justice, the Chief Justice on suspension. She made a very deep statement. Listen to her.
Listening to our Lady Chair on ensuring that you have the competencies to be in the place that you are put. And I was reminding myself of recent conversations when people would say to me, "You have held up. You have done well in this onslaught." And I realized that what has held me up is the assurance of competence. Simply, no decision that I have made in my role as Chief Justice or in my capacity as President of a panel of the Supreme Court has come from anything but a knowledge of law. No matter how many noises are made, the law is the law. And the only answer one can give to all the hand-waving is the legal answer, unless we want something else. But I am quite sure that Ghana as a society is not looking for Chief Justices that bend and give them something other than law. And therefore, here I am. Everyone gets the law.
Everyone gets the law. And so far, nobody has been able to point out whether the law has been broken or not. It's a process. Whether those who believe that it is a process in theory but should not be practiced, they are there. There are those who also believe that let her ladyship, the Chief Justice, go through the process. If she is blameless, she will come out unscathed and she will come and take back her job. If she is found culpable, the rules are there. Why is everybody going on and on about women now? FIDA is introducing women and blah, blah, blah. All this emotional talk, it will not go anywhere. Let's focus on what the law says. Because the law cannot be applied differently. When the law applies to me, it must apply to every single individual. As the CJ herself said, everybody gets the law. Are we getting the law? Everybody gets the law. So let everybody get the law, because nobody is above the law. The acting CJ has directed that something be put out there. I'll read it to you, and then we'll get into some quick issues, Shadrach, before the footbridge at Kaneshi, it's under attack. We'll talk about it. This is from the Deputy Judicial Secretary to the registrars of courts of appeal and the Supreme Court. Subject: assignment of courts and fixing of the dates for newly filed cases and all newly filed applications. Is dated the 23rd of April, 2025. It says, I've been directed by the Acting Honorable Chief Justice to inform you that all newly filed cases and applications must be brought to his attention for assignments of courts and panelling of judges where there are more than one court, and for the fixing of dates for hearing. Take note that this directive supersedes all previous directives, and until further notice, please accept the compliments of the Acting Honorable Chief Justice, Dr. Cyracuse B. Bapuro. Is the acting chief, is common compared to the acting Chief Justice. Cyracuse Bapuro. Cyracuse Bapuro, that's the name. So, a confident good morning to you. But yours is a newly filed case. Okay, I'm just greeting you. That's all. Good morning to you.